one
and the
in
breeding
first place
capacity.
because to me he's just the most
Given
complete
that,
bull.
I put 2
He's got
in
a very
first for its obvious
fiery
size.
head about him.
I look
He's
for the
very
strength through the
neat through
shoulders,
the front end,
strength through the back line,
and he's just a
strength
very
through the waist.
safe calf to
Nice
go with.
masculine head.
It's probably
nice,
that
well-kept
overall
cheek,
completeness that
and
got him over the bull
good
here today in
testicular
section.
development.
Bull number 3. This bull does have the most growth
third
in the
I
class.
put number 3 in
He's a
second,
very long bull.
even though it was
I'd just like to
larger
neaten
than all
him
the other
up behind his
competitors. I still
shoulders a little
felt he
bit
didn't have the
and give him a bit more testicular
the
development.
capability of the
But it's
second
probably the
bull to put
length
in first.
and size of this bull
bull,
that got him
however,
over the
still
bull
a
in
great
third
match.
today. Bull number 4.
The bull I put in
This
third was
bull
number
moves
1.
very well around the
Though this
ring.
bull is slightly smaller,
I'd just
I still
like to
feel
give him
it
a
has
little
lot
bit of
positive traits
size
about it.
and let him hold his head
Looking
up a
towards
little
its
bit
back
more.
line and its
It's
back
probably
legs, I
that
could not place
nice
it over
muscle
this bull I put in
definition on
second.
him that gets him
In
above the
fourth
bull in
place,
fourth
I
today.
put
Bull number 2.
This
He's
bull
a
is
very nice
obviously
little
smaller than the
bull.
others.
I'd just like to
didn't
see him
feel
have a
it
little
had
bit
the
more
breeding
size
capacity
and a
of the
little
others.
bit more development. Thank
Yet
you.
it had a lot of positive traits going for it. To end this presentation, I'd like to again thank the overjudge and anyone that made this day possible.
Fantastic. Our next speaker today will be Audrey Bauer.
Thank you very much, mate. That concludes our 15 years of age competitors. For our competitors that started in the Brahman Heifer ring in ring 3, that should be our 8 to 11 years age competitors.
Hello, my name is Audrey
16.
Bauer. First of all, I would like to thank the overjudge and everyone
8 to 11 age competitors and our 16 years of age competitors. You guys are now welcome to please move over to ring number 3. You'll start your judging of your Brahman heifers. The next age group in ring number 1 will please be the next age group 17 years of age group. From this age group, I will need
and that's why I put him over the bull I put in third.
Dallas Mollenhagen,
This bull wasn't
Sam
as big as bull in
Kingston,
the class,
Ella
but
Fort,
had good muscle and
Dawson
depth of body.
Jones,
I placed bull
Cody
number 4.
Mortimer,
I placed
Max
bull number 2
Humphreys,
in fourth.
Madison
He was-
Orth, Grace
He had a good
Hughes,
top line and good
Ben
length of
Corey,
body. Overall, he was
Georgia
nice bull.
Buchan,
Thank you.
Grace
He had a good
Hughes,
top
Becky
line and good
Watton,
length of body.
Bella
Overall,
Beckman,
thank you.
Lucas Harms.
Fantastic.
and
Our next
Jessica
speaker in ring 2 will be Addison
Martell,
Cook.
looks like. If those competitors could please come up
Fantastic.
to
Our
the
next
judges'
speaker in
tent,
ring
or
two
if your
will be
names
Addison
sound pretty
Cook.
similar to one of those, come up to the judges' tent, and we'll get cracking very soon. Sound pretty similar to one of those, come up to the judges' tent.
Thank you.
and
Good
we'll
morning,
get
everyone.
cracking
Before I
very
place my
soon.
judgment today, I'd just like to thank the overjudge, Beef Australia Society, and the breeders and exhibitors of these bulls. Today, when I was judging these bulls, I was looking for a structurally sound bull that could go out in my paddock and strengthen my herd. In saying this, my order was 3, 1, 4, 2. The bull I put up first, he just was structurally sound, and I believe he's a bull that could strengthen my herd. He's got great length, depth, and he carries himself nicely. It was his overall growth for age that got him over the
Right,
bull.
ladies and gentlemen,
in
welcome
second today,
in
bull one.
ring number
This
1.
bull, he's got a
We
lovely
remain to
sorry
judge
head, he
our
still carries
Angus
himself
bulls
nicely
here,
and has good
and
length.
welcome to our next
I
age
just
group.
feel like
Our first
he
competitor,
did the same
please,
grade as bull
Dallas
one. It was his
Mollenhagen.
overall length that got him above the bull in third. This bull, he's a really nice, strong
Good
bull.
afternoon, ladies, gentlemen,
He
fellow
tracks
competitors.
nicely,
Before we begin, I'd like to thank our
and he
overjudge,
has a heap
the
of
Beef
muscle
Australia Society,
and
and anyone else who made this day
It
possible.
was his overall
Today, when I was
capacity
judging
that
these
got
Angus
him
bulls, I
over
was
the
looking for a bull that had that
bull.
capacity,
Bull
overall
two.
masculinity,
This
and
bull,
overall
he's
growth
nice,
for age.
soft bull.
I was looking for a bull that tracked
It's just
nicely through the
that
ring
he
and overall
didn't have
future
the capacity
development.
to yield as a
With that in mind, place these bulls in the order of 3, 2, 1, 4. Had this bull here in first place here today because it's the overall bull.
Wonderful.
He
Our
oozed
next
ma-
speaker in ring
masculinity
2 will
and
be
sire
Ellie
appeal.
McCulloch.
When we look at the back of this bull, he had that tremendous spine on him
Wonderful. Our
and that
next
overall
speaker
thickness
in
and
ring
depth.
two will be
I
Ellie
love this
McCulloch.
bull for the overall presence he held in the ring and the
Morning,
overall
ladies
size.
and gentlemen.
When as soon as this bull walked
My
in the
name
ring,
is
he had
Ellie
tremendous
McCulloch,
tracking
and
ability
before I begin,
and
I
good
would like to
testicular
thank the
development.
Beef community,
Was this bull's
the
overall
overjudge,
finish
and
and
everyone
overall
for making this
consistency
possible.
that put it above
Today,
bull
my
number 2.
order, I
Bull
placed
number
these
2
junior
today,
Brahman
a
bulls in,
tremendously
was
long
1,
bull.
3,
I admire this bull
4,
for
2.
testicular development.
Bull number
that
1
width across
was
the
a very
spine,
stylish,
and muscular.
complete bull for
This
me.
bull is a
He has
tremendously
great
big
testicle,
bull, and his overall finish and
great
overall
along the
thickness
top
across
line,
those
a
pins
deep
there.
bull, and will
They
grow
put it
into be a
above bull
great
number
sire.
1.
I placed number 3 in second here today, the biggest bull, the earliest maturing with great muscle
You
pattern.
see that bone?
I'd like to clean him up along the bottom a little bit, but other than that, a great
across that
bull.
spine.
I placed bull
And
number
this bull's
3,
that thickness
4
behind.
in
Is this bull's
third.
overall finish here today?
He's
and overall
a
thickness
great
across
little
those
bull
pins. They
with
put
a
it above bull number 4. Bull number 4.
He has
some
great
tremendous
structure
bone here today.
and
I said
tracks
he didn't have
beautifully
overall finish
around the
and
ring.
overall
A very
growth
nice bull.
like other
He has
bulls today,
great
but he's still
structure.
tremendous
And in
today.
fourth, I placed bull number 2. Smallest bull in the class, but with a big future ahead of him. Bull number 2. And he's still a little bit later developing, but will grow into be a great bull. Thank you.
Sam Kingston.
A little bit later developing, but will grow into be a great bull.
Fantastic. Our next speaker in ring 2, we will have Polly White. Fantastic. Our next speaker in ring 2, we will have Polly White. Fantastic. Our next speaker in ring 2, we will have Polly White.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I place my order on this strong masculine class of bulls, I'd like to thank the overjudge, the beef community, and anyone else who made this day possible. What I was looking for in this class of bull was an overall bull that had that masculine appeal, had that and sire appeal, had that overall width and capacity, structural correctness, and muscle patterning, which has led to my order of 3, 1, 2, 4. Number 3 had all of these qualities. He was a very masculine bull, has that overall sire appeal, is very thick from the head and carries out to the hindquarters, and has great growth for age. In second place, I placed bull number 1. Bull number 1 has great length and softness, which allows him to fill out, and is very tidy. I just felt that he didn't have that overall growth for age and didn't have that overall capacity as the bull above him. In third place, I placed bull number 2. This bull is a very structurally correct bull. He is very tidy. I just felt that he was a little bit feminine and was a bit too short for my liking. In fourth place, I placed bull number 4. This bull is a very strong masculine bull. I just felt that he didn't have that muscle patterning what I was looking for, and he didn't have that overall structural correctness. Thank you.
Fantastic. Next up to speak in this ring, we will have Rihanna McIntyre. Fantastic. Next up to speak in this ring, we will have Rihanna McIntyre. Fantastic. Next up to speak in this ring, we will have Rihanna McIntyre. Fantastic. Next up to speak in this ring.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I place my judgment on these beautiful lineup of bulls, I'd first like to thank the 2024 Australian Beef Society. I'd like to thank all the sponsors that helped make this day possible, and I'd like to thank the overjudge and the breeders and exhibitors of these cattle, and any volunteers that helped make this day possible. Today, what I was looking for in a bull, I was looking for a bull that was going to go out and produce quality progeny for my herd and strengthen the genetics that I already have. And what goes into this, I was looking for a bull that carried the width and the depth about himself. I was looking for a bull that walked on nice, strong, flat bone. I was looking for a bull that carried the muscling right down over the hind quarter and also right up through to those shoulders. And so today, with all this in mind, this has led to my order of 3, 1, 4, 2. Bull number 3, I just believe he was the pin-up of the class. This bull was the growthiest, framiest bull of the class, but he backed that up by having that muscling that I was looking for and the masculinity about himself. He carried himself really well around the ring, and this bull's testicles do have to be commended as they are really nice and even. But today it was his overall growth that got him over the bull that I've placed in second today, bull number 1. This bull wasn't as growthy as the bull that I placed in first today, but he had that masculinity about himself. He walked really nicely around the ring, and he was going to be able to go out and he's going to be able to serve cows in that paddock and walk to water and walk to feed. I really commended this bull on the width that he had about himself and the softness that he carried through that muscling. But today it was his overall length that got him over the bull that I've placed in third today, bull number 4. As I said, I'd just like to see this bull longer through that top. but again, a bull that carries himself beautifully and has that masculinity about himself. I love this bull for all the attributes that he does carry, but today it was his overall depth that got him over the bull that I've placed in 4th place today, bull number 2. I just believe this bull lacks the masculinity and the depth of the bulls above him today, but a bull that can be commended as he is the youngest in the class, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And our final speaker in the 14-year age group is Charlie Vanderberg. And our final speaker in the 14-year age group is Charlie Vanderberg. And our final speaker in the 14-year age group is Charlie Vanderberg.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I comment on this fine line of bulls, I'd like to thank Beef Australia, the over judge, and the cattle exhibitors for exhibiting their bulls today, and allowing me this opportunity. A bull's main purpose is to breed effectively and move freely. This is why the first thing I look for when judging bulls is soundness in the reproductive traits, even muscle throughout the body, and the ability to walk smoothly. Today I have placed my bulls in the order 3, 1, 4, 2. Bull 3 was my winner as soon as he stepped in the ring. He just had those nice wide shoulders that I was looking for and the nice even muscle throughout the body. He also had the highest EMA score. Close behind I had bull number 1. His flank was just a little bit too high for what I was looking for, but he still had that lovely masculine head and overall just a very beautiful top line. Bull number 3, overall just a very beautiful top line. Third place today goes to bull number 4. He was just a little bit short-bodied for my liking, but still had a very strong stance and a beautiful flank. And in 4th place, still a lovely bull, I had bull number 2. He was just a little bit smaller than the other bulls, and I noticed that he stepped a little bit close to himself when he entered the ring. But he had that lovely neck extension I was looking for. Overall, all of them had very nice reproductive traits with even testicles. I would have any of them in my paddock and they would be an asset in any paddock. Thank you for listening. I would have any of them in my paddock and they would be an asset in any paddock. Thank you for listening.
Congratulations and well done. We'll move on to our 18 to 25-year-old speakers now. I'll just grab the list off PJ. To our 18 to 25-year-old. So first to speak today, we'll have Jessica Beddoes. So first to speak today, we'll have Jessica Beddoes. So first to speak today, we'll have Jessica Beddoes. I'll just read out the 18 to 25-year-old names so you guys are aware. I'll just read we have Cara Doggett, Emma McLucas, Gus Hutchinson, Alicia Toronto, Kiralee Streeter, Charlie Tucker, Alexandra Olive, Tim Connor, and Georgie Spencer. So if you've just heard your name, can you please be on standby? Tim Connor and Georgie Spencer. So if you've just heard your name, can you please be on standby? Tim Connor and Georgie Spencer.
Before I start, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Beef Australia, organisers, judges, stewards, sponsors of this event. It's a huge honour to be here and judging this magnificent lineup of young bulls here today. The order I've gone for is 3, 4, 1, 2. Number 3 I put up in first place here today. I feel he is the standout bull in this class. He carries himself around the ring, a really structurally correct bull. He's got the masculinity in him, muscling. He ticks all the boxes for me. It was just that overall size for his age that's gotten him over bull number 4 here today. Very tidy young bull. He's got that muscling. He carries it very evenly from his shoulders to his rump. He's got that lovely coat, very shiny. He's got softness, looseness in his flesh. He paraded out really well. It was just probably the tidiness in the sheath that's gotten this bull up into second place over my bull number 1 here today. Very long bull. He's got a few extra ribs, I think, this bull. a lot to offer. Very fleshy, lovely masculine bull with width, depth, length. Yeah, I'd just like to tidy him up a little bit underneath, and probably a little bit more evenly muscling on this bull would have helped him into that second place here today, but he's gotten my third place over bull number 2 just for that bit of extra length and growth for age in this bull. Number 2 down in 4th place here today, later maturing bull I feel. Just not the growth for age on this bull, but very structurally correct and a lot to offer I think later on for the Brahman breed. Thank you. Correct and a lot to offer I think later on for the Brahman breed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have Cara Doggett. Thank you. Next up, we'll have Cara.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin speaking on this class of young Brahman bulls, I'd like to take the time to thank Beef 24, the overjudge, and the committee to organise this event. So my placings in this class of young Brahman bulls is 1, 3, 4, 2. Bull number 1, he caught my eye straight away. He's flashy, he's balanced, he's clean through the bottom, he's thick through the flank, and deep down through the stifle. He's got a clean top line, he's refined through the front, and it goes over to a clean shoulder. So his depth and capacity gave him the advantage over second, which is bull number 3. 3 is a high growthy bull. You can see he's got the height, he's got the length, he's got the width. So for that reason, and he covers it through into the second thigh, he had the advantage over bull in third, which is bull number 4. A lovely dark bull. You can see he's clean through the front, he's clean underneath, and it was the top line and the muscle over the rump that gave him the advantage of bull in 4th place today, bull number 2. This is a young, sweet bull. He's just been outpowered today, but there's a credit to all 4 bulls out here as they're a great example of the breed. Thank you. There's a credit to all 4 bulls out here as they're a great example of the breed.
Fantastic. Our next speaker today will be Amber McLucas. Fantastic. Our next speaker today will
Before
be
I
Amber
pass my
McLucas.
comments on this line of Brahman bulls here today, I'd just like to thank the committee, fellow competitors, and our overjudge for his time here today. Now, what I'm looking for in any sort of breed of bull is first and foremost functionality. They need to be able to walk, track out well, and able to hold their body weight, profitability and marketability as well. And for this reason, I've gone for bull number 3 here today. He's a standout bull. He's got that sirey outpeel and greatly represents that Brahman breed with plenty of skin, easy fleshing, and that great hooded eye. You can see that as it travels down through that hind quarter and handles those back legs really well, even through that angularity of his sheath, and stands on great bone. It was his overall structural appeal that got him over bull number 1 here today. You go admire this young sire, his outlook. However, it was just that length of spine and strength of spine that got him down here in second place. I'd also like to tidy him up just in those lower joints in his back feet here today. It was that joint and tracking ability that got him over bull number 2 here today. You go admire this young red bull here. However, it was just that hoof design and hoof structure that affected his tracking ability. However, you go admire the thickness and muscle expression and pattern that got him over bull number 4 here today. You go admire this another sire. However, it was just this overall structure of his spine and that tracking ability. He turns out that rear left leg just a touch when you get behind him. However, you go to admire the sorry outlook that this bull possesses. But these are a great credit to the Brahman breed. Thank you. But these are a great credit to the Brahman breed. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker today will be Gus Hutchinson. Okay, our next speaker today will be Gus Hutchinson. Okay, our next speaker today will be Gus Hutchinson. Okay, our next speaker.
Thank you. Before I cast my comments on this great line of Brahman bulls, I'd like to thank the overjudge, the exhibitors for coming out here today, the handlers, the sponsors, and everyone else that made this day possible. Today I placed bull number 1 on top. To me, he just really stands out in this class. He really has that sirey head, great back line on this bull, and it's the tidiness underneath him that really got him over the bull in second, which is bull number 3. Graded the bull in number 3. He's the biggest bull in the class. He's heavier, but I believe he's just not tidy underneath, which could really affect him down the track. But he's beautiful hind quarter on this bull, good testicles, and he's really that neck extension and sire appeal in his head. It was that overall growth and power in the bull in 3 that got him over the bull I placed in 3rd, bull 2. I like this young calf. He's about 90 kilos, 90 to 100 kilos lighter than the 2 bulls above him, but I really like that muscle expression in him. He stands on good bone. He tracks around the ring really well. He probably not as sirey head as him, the 2 bulls above him. But it was that probably cleanless underneath, tidiness underneath, sorry, and probably that muscle expression that got on the bull. The 4th bull, bull number 4. Another really nice Brahman bull, plenty of neck extension and sirey head. He does have a bit better sirey head than the bull in 3rd, but I just believe his tracking let him down today and just didn't have that muscle expression as the 3 bulls above him. Thank you. Have that muscle expression as the 3 bulls above him. Thank you.
Our next speaker today will be Alicia Trado.
Muscle expression as the 3 bulls above him. Thank you.
Our next speaker today will be Alicia Trado. Our next speaker today will be Alicia Trado.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Alicia Trovatello and I'm from Central Victoria, so definitely not used to this heat and humidity today. Before I speak on this class, I'd just like to thank Beef Australia and the Beef Cattle Committee for putting this event on for young people. I'd also like to thank PJ Butler for coming internationally to this event and for taking the time out today to judge us young people. I've placed this class 3, 1, 4, 2. Really, I think this bull in first place is a fantastic representative of the Brahman breed, and where the northern industry is going, you have to really admire his growth for age and muscle expression, his length of body, and his feet and leg structure. And you know, we could argue maybe his front isn't the most refined in the class here, but his sheer performance gets him over bull number 1. I really admire this bull's broad muzzle, really good eye set here, probably the most refined fronted bull in the class, and he just tracks around really well. I found his freedom of movement is what placed him over bull number 4. Bull number 4, I really like his muscle expression. Again, great feet and leg structure, and that's what put him over bull number 2, the bull in 4th place. Just a little bit overshadowed today by some more performance type bulls, but you can appreciate his freedom of movement and muscle expression, and you can see that he's going to cover some country. Thank you very much. Have a good day at the show. And you can see that he's going to cover some country. Thank you very much. Have a good day at the show.
Next to speak, we have Kiralee Streeter.
Thank you very much. Have a good day at the show.
Next to speak, we have Kiralee Streeter.
Thank you very much. Have a good day at the show.
Next to speak, we have Kiralee.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today when I was judging this lineup of bulls, I was looking for that bull that was phenotypically correct to the Brahman breed. A bull that was free-moving, structurally correct and reproductively correct, and a bull that carried that sire appeal and that overall muscle pattern and volume through his body. For me, this big grey Brahman bull, bull number 3, ticks all my boxes. He's a bull you really have to admire for that overall volume of body and that tidiness up underneath. He's a bull that has that adequate testicular development for his age. He's got the weight for age, and he was just the overall standout winner of this class. He's phenotypically correct to that breed, and he tracked out really nicely. Overall, it was just the capacity of this bull that's placing him above the bull down on the end, bull number 1. This little bull on the end, he's a bull you really have to admire for that sire appeal through that head. He's a bull that's got that length and that width and that overall volume up along the top. He's nice and tidy underneath. Again, he's a free-moving calf. And overall, it's just the length of body on this calf that's placed him above this little blue bull down in third place today. The little bull down in third, he's another bull you really have to admire for that sari head on him. He's a bull that's reproductively correct. He's got that overall capacity and volume. And he was a beautiful free-moving calf. And it was just the growth for age. And it was just the growth for age and the overall capacity of that and natural muscle pattern that's placed him above the little red bull down in fourth place today. The little red bull down in fourth place is a bull you really have to admire for that overall length of body and that tidiness up underneath. And he was again a bull that could track out nice and freely. To conclude, I'd like to thank our overjudge, Beef Australia, and anyone else who can make this day possible. Thank you. Our overjudge, Beef Australia, and anyone else who can make this day possible.
Our next speaker in ring 2, we'll have Charlie Tucker. Our next speaker in ring 2, we'll have Charlie Tucker.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I'm judging bulls, I look for a bull that's got length because at the end of the day, length is weight, weight is money. I've gone with bull number 3, this big, long, thick Brahman bull. Tracks out well for the length on this bull. Plenty of softness and capacity. It was probably just the overall thickness and depth and smoothness to this bull that got him over the bull in second place, bull number 1. I really love this bull for his overall put togetherness. I just felt he dropped away in the shoulders a little bit for my likings, but you really have to admire the smoothness through his shoulders and his loose skin. It was just probably the bit more thickness and length of this bull that got him over the bull in fourth place today. I really loved the hood of eye on this bull. It was just the tail head setting that I just felt wasn't as smooth as the 2 bulls in front of him today, but it was just the overall cleanliness and thickness and the hood over his eye that got him over the bull in fourth place. The little red bull, he'd be a beautiful little heifer bull, I reckon. He is nicely smooth, plenty of loose skin. I'd just like to see him a bit tidier in those toes, but taking nothing away from him, he's a beautiful little red bull. Thank you. But taking nothing away from him, he's a beautiful little red bull. Thank you.
Our next speaker in ring 2 will be Alexandra Olive. Our next speaker in ring 2 will be Alexandra Olive.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I pass my comments on this tremendous array of bulls, I'd just like to thank the Beef Show Society, the owners and exhibitors, and anyone else who made this day possible. What I'm looking for in a bull today is a bull that demonstrates great structure, great fertility, and great muscle and fleshing ability. That being said, the order I've placed these bulls in today is 3, 1, 4, 2. The bull I've placed in first, bull number 3, he's ticking all those boxes. He's got this beautiful weight for age, he's the heaviest in the class, he's got the biggest frame and the biggest fleshing ability, easy muscling that is distributed across his body. When you get under him, he's got these even testicles and he's very clean underneath where the working gear is. I just believe it is his overall growth for age and his biggest EMA that has placed him above the bull he's placed in second, bull number 1. Taking nothing away from this bull, he's a bull I admire for his fat coverage, his muscling, his easy doing ability. He's got this beautiful fat coverage which is distributed evenly. When you get behind him, he's got this beautiful testicular development which is a necessity for breeding on in the future. I just believe it is this bull's easy muscling and fleshing ability that has placed him above the bull I've placed in second, bull number 4. Taking nothing away from this bull, he's a bull that's got beautiful testicular development. He's got this beautiful frame about him, he's got this beautiful depth of body, and this walks out tremendously. I just believe it is his overall growth for age and frame size and testicular development that has placed him above above the bull I placed in full today, bull number 2. Taking nothing away from this bull, he is a bull that is starting to display great muscling, and he's a bull that has got great breed character through that beautiful strong polled head. Thank you. These bulls are credit to their owners. Great breed character through that beautiful strong polled head. Thank you. These bulls are credit to their owners.
Our next speaker in ring 2 will be Tim Connor.
Thank you. These bulls are credit to their owners.
Our next speaker in ring 2 will be Tim Connor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before today, I'd like to thank Beef Australia 2024, our overjudge, Mr. Butler, owners and exhibitors of the cattle, and anyone else who's given me the opportunity to judge here today. This morning, I was looking for a young bull calf that showed overall masculinity, carried his smoothness of body and muscling all throughout, and was structurally sound. With this in mind, I've placed him in the order of 3, 1, 4, 2. I've placed bull number 3 in first place today, as he is just the overall package. He's a smooth bull that has great capacity, and he carries his muscling all throughout. It was this young calf's overall capacity and growth for age that put him above bull number 1 in second place today. You have to really admire this calf for his broadness between the muzzle that carries right through his eye all the way through his body. He has a tremendous sheath and really good set of testicles on him. It was this young calf's overall tracking ability and muscling throughout his top line that put him over the bull in third place today, bull number 1. Bull number 4 in third place. This calf is a really nice calf that has really good muscling all the way down through his hind quarter. I really admire him for his depth of flank and cleanliness underneath. It was this young calf's overall spring of rib and coverage that put him over the bull in fourth place today, bull number 2. A really nice calf that has really good attributes, such as his cleanliness in the sheath and good testicles. Is just the bull's capacities above him today that put him in fourth place. Thank you. The bull's capacities above him today that put him in fourth place. Thank you.
Our final speaker in this age group will have Georgie Spencer.
Thank you.
Our final speaker in this age group will have Georgie Spencer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Beef Australia for giving us the opportunity to speak here today, and our overjudge, Mr. Butler, for coming over here. When I came out here today, I was really looking for a bull that was going to be super reproductively sound, track well around the ring, and also have that nice smoothness. The bull that did that for me here today was bull number 3. Bull number 3 was definitely my overall winner here today. He's definitely a credit to the Brahman breed. Shows plenty of that breed character and head character. He's got testosterone pumping through his body, and I did really admire this bull's hind quarter and just that thickness up along that top line. And it was this bull's overall growth for age that got him over bull number 1. Bull number 1 was a tremendous bull. I really liked the breed character that this fella had, that angulation of that sheath and that spring of rib. I just would have liked to see this bull a little bit thicker and deeper in that flank, but it was this bull's overall smoothness that got him over bull number 4. Bull number 4, I really love this bull. He's definitely a credit to the Brahman breed. I love what he brings to the ring. I definitely believe he is short of a rib, but overall it was this fella's growth for age that has gotten him over bull number 2. I really love bull number 2 and what he will do in the future. I just would have liked to see him a little bit more wider up along that hind quarter. Thank you. I just would have liked to see him a little bit more wider up along that hind quarter.
Congratulations, guys, and thank you. We'll collate some scores. I don't believe PJ will speak on these now. He'll speak on them when all the kids are finished and all the kids can listen to what he's got to say. So if you haven't spoken today, I encourage you to stay around and listen to what our 3 judges have got to say. There'll be some valuable information within that. So if you guys just want to mill around and wait for that, that'd be fantastic. So if you guys just want to mill around and wait for that, that'd be fantastic. So if you guys just want to mill around and wait for that, that'd be fantastic. So if you guys just want to mill around and wait for that, that'd be fantastic. We'll hand over to PJ Butler to pass comment on our Brahman bulls. We'll hand over to PJ Butler to pass comment on our Brahman bulls. We'll hand over to PJ Butler.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls. I think before I describe the four bulls that we evaluated this morning, I think let's just give a big round of applause to all our juniors that competed. And there's so much talent here, and there's so much future. And this is actually the exciting part of BEEF 2024, because as you project 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, this is going to be the leadership that moves our industry forward. And I came from a country that didn't have a system like this. We were thrown in with the seniors, and you sank or you swam or sank. And you've got a huge advantage, and use this advantage. Use these opportunities to immerse yourself in the industry and flavor yourself in this cattle industry that we're all obsessed with and passionate about and addicted to. A brief comment I feel I need to say this, because I think that had I been put through the system, I wouldn't have got a chance to speak, because my placings would have been very different to the over-judges at the time. So the juniors that didn't get to speak, don't lose heart, guys. You just placed them differently to me, and I'm convinced there's some of you who could have explained very well and would have changed some minds. So this is a process. There has to be a process to eliminate some people just for time reasons. But I really feel strongly about that. We don't all have to sort them the same way. People have different objectives and resources, and you come from different environments. So if you didn't get to speak today, I don't feel that like you've done anything lesser than the groups that did get to speak. So we've got a group of 4 Brahman bulls, they're 16-month-old bulls, and as we ask our first place to lead off, here's a bull that's just tremendous in terms of masculinity, mass, and muscle. A bull that's sound in his feet and legs. He really reaches well through his shoulder. He's got some chest floor and base width to him, and when you look over his top, he's full of muscle over his ribeye and loin and rump. He's full in his twist and he's wide stifle to stifle. A bull that's got some cushion in his lower joints, and he's got a good enough size and shape foot to him, good testicle size, shape and suspension. You could tidy him up a little bit in his sheath, but it's still a practical sheath with a small prepuce opening. I like the softness of this bull. He's well muscled, he's got muscle tone and shape to him, but he's still nicely fleshed over his rib cage with adequate depth of body and internal dimension. Our second place bull, as he leads off, I love the breed character and masculinity and quality in this bull's skull and jaw. A bull that's got a good maturity pattern to him, is a nice earlier maturing bull. A bull that's also full in his hip and hind quarter, a bull that moves really well on his feet and legs. Now, relative to the bull that won the class, I'd like to strengthen him behind the hump, just fill him up in that forerib and attach his spine to his chine with a little bit more strength. But in terms of type and kind, I love this bull. I like his testicle size and shape. I'd like to maybe clean up his prepuce opening a little bit, just make him a little bit more practical there in his sheath. But that's an outstanding herd bull too. Our third place bull, here's a bull that's slightly different now, one that hasn't quite got that masculinity through his neck. You're not quite seeing that testosterone flow yet, so that means he's going to come a little bit later. A bull that also has a very practical sheath under him. I'd like to maybe give him a little bit more shape to his testicles, maybe shorten him in that scrotal neck slightly. What I'd like to change the most in this bull is he's got some swelling on his hocks, so we'd like to clean him up a little bit in his joints, just to make him slightly more flexible, give him a touch more longevity for the long run. But he's a balanced bull. A lot of you mentioned that he's maybe a little shorter spined. There are a lot of environments that'll take a bull like this that's a little more compact and shorter spined. They tend to fight it out slightly better in the harsher environments. Then in fourth place, we've got a red bull that is really good in his upper skeleton. A bull that's clean in his shoulder. He's got really good angle in his shoulder as that angle blends back into his forerib. He's nicely muscled over his top hip and rump. He's got some extension from his shoulder into his neck. A bull that's neck comes out of the top of the shoulder, which I really like. A bull that's tidy in his sheath and good in his testicle size and shape. So there are a couple of things I'd like to change about this bull. I'd like to change his foot size and shape. I'd like to give him a stronger foot and a deeper heel, and I'd like to just fill him up in his center body, give him a slightly more internal dimension and performance. A bull that could do with a slightly earlier maturity pattern too, but this is still a safe option. He's a bull that's so good in his skeleton. There's longevity built into this bull. He's flexible through his shoulder and hind leg, and for his type and kind, he's got some base width and chest floor when he moves away from you. So 4 outstanding 16-month-old bulls. Congratulations to the exhibitors. Thank you for your patience and being prepared to come out here and lead cattle around on the last day of beef. Thank you for the organizers for inviting me to do this. It's obviously a huge pleasure and an honor. And like I said to all the young people earlier, seize this opportunity. It's an amazing program to be part of this. Don't take it for granted. Most of the world doesn't have these opportunities. And in 10, 20 years' time, you're going to be so far ahead of your peers in other countries. So take it. Don't squander this. The people have put together a program that's going to enrich you and immerse you into what I think is the best industry in the world. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. What I think is the best industry.
Thank you, PJ. And well, the Brahman bulls are still in earshot. Just one more round of applause for the handlers and breeders and exhibitors. And well, the Brahman bulls are still in earshot. All right, we're all going to move round to the Brahman heifers now. Thank you. Breeders and exhibitors. Well, the Brahman bulls are still in All right, we're all going to move round to the Brahman heifers now. Thank you. Breeders and exhibitors. Well, the Brahman bulls are still in All right, we're all going to move round to the Brahman heifers now. Thank you. Breeders and exhibitors. Well, the Brahman bulls are still in All right, we're all going to move round to the Brahman heifers now. Thank you. That's probably